Good afternoon, brothers and sisters. I wanted to take a few minutes to to share with you something that I wrote this morning. It's a poem, and it's about my testimony, and that I'm gonna be honest with you guys that I rebelled for a long time, several years, to where I was purposely doing the opposite of what God told me to do. And I was fighting against him. There was times that I cursed and swore at him and just insulted him and tried as best as I tried as best as I could to make him angry so that he would abandon me, but he never did. And I owe Heavenly Father my life, because there's been times that he saved me. He saved me from my own hands when I was trying to do harm to myself. So I'm gonna read this to you, and I hope it's relatable, that you feel empowered to know that redemption is possible. Being redeemed is possible. You know, grace and mercy, it's possible to receive those. In order to receive them, though, you have to open your heart and give your heart over to Christ and follow him. So let's start, brothers and sisters. The title of this poem is called Rebel Son, My Testimony. I did not drift from you, I ran. I knew your name before I knew my own strength, knew the stories, knew the cross, knew the cost, and still I chose rebellion. I wanted to be untethered, unwatched, unruled. I mistook your mercy for weakness and your patience for absence. I called rebellion freedom and bowed to it like a king. The city lights became my altar, bars humming like false sanctuaries, neon baptisms in whiskey and sweat. I lifted my glass as if it were communion and said, "This is my salvation," and swallowed fire. Addiction wrapped its arms around me like a counterfeit lover. It whispered, "You don't need God." It promised relief, delivered chains. I woke up in rooms I did not recognize, with names I could not remember, pieces of my soul scattered like ash across unmade beds. I searched for love in strangers' eyes, in the curve of a body, in the warmth of skin that did not know my story. I told myself it was connection, that this ache could be quieted with another touch, another night, another lie. But the void in my heart was not a hunger for flesh, it was homesickness. And I refused to admit it. The voices began as murmurs, soft distortions at the edge of thought. Then they grew teeth, they accused, they mocked. They told me I was beyond redemption, that heaven had erased my name. Madness turned my mind into a battlefield without sleep. Shadows moved where light should have stood. Fear breathed down my neck. I could not trust my own senses. Reality felt like thin ice, cracking. I blamed you. I said, if you're good, why is my mind at war? If you are near, why do I feel abandoned? I shook my fist at the sky as though you were the one who had walked away. But even in my rage, you did not flinch. When I tried to drown you in liquor and lust, you waited. When I cursed your name between panic and paranoia, you listened. When I stood on the edge of ending it all, convinced the only escape was silence, you stood closer. I could not see you, but you were there. You were there in the breath that refused to leave my lungs, in the stranger who spoke kindness I did not deserve, in the quiet moment after the voices screamed themselves hoarse, in the way my heart still beat when I begged it to stop. I thought rebellion would make me powerful. Instead, it made me small, curled on bathroom floors, hands shaking, promising I would quit tomorrow while pouring another drink tonight. I told myself I was too broken for you, too addicted, too unclean, too mentally unstable, too far gone. But your love did not measure distance the way I did. You did not love a future healed version of me. You loved the addict, the promiscuous, the delusional, the angry son. You loved me in the middle of it. When I ran, you did not chase me with condemnation, you followed with compassion. When I spat in your face, you answered with open hands. When I tried to fill my emptiness with bodies and bottles, you whispered, I am enough. I did not believe you, not at first. Faith felt impossible in a mind that betrayed me. Trust felt dangerous. In a heart that had been shattered, surrender felt like death to someone who had made rebellion his identity. But I was already dying in slow motion, in bar bathrooms and dark bedrooms, in psychotic episodes and lonely mornings, in apologies I never meant and promises I never kept. You were not the tyrant I imagined. You were the father standing at the end of the road watching for dust on the horizon. I expected thunder, I expected wrath, I expected to be told you made your choice. Instead, you ran to me, not because I cleaned myself up, not because I earned it, not because I finally obeyed, but because you are faithful even when I am faithless. In the wreckage of my rebellion, I saw something I could not deny. You had never abandoned me. Not in the psych ward, not in the blackout, not in the stranger's bed, not in the suicidal spiral, not in the delusion, not in the shame. You were the thread holding my life together when I was determined to tear it apart. And I broke, not into despair, but into surrender. I fell to my knees with nothing left to defend. No excuses, no pride, no more pretending I could save myself. I can't do this, I said, and for the first time, that was not rebellion, it was truth. I gave you my addiction, the cravings that clawed at my ribs. I gave you my lust, the aching need to be wanted. I gave you my fractured mind, the voices, the fear, the chaos. I gave you my whole ruined self, and you did not recoil. You called me son. You did not promise an easy road. You did not erase every struggle overnight. The cravings still whisper, the mind still trembles, temptation still knocks. But I am no longer alone in this fight. But I am no longer alone in the fight. Your faithfulness became my anchor. Your grace became my oxygen. Your cross became my answer to every accusation that I was unlovable. I rebelled against you with everything I had. I tried to outrun your mercy. I tried to bury your voice beneath noise and sin and madness. And still you loved me, not a fragile love that collapses under pressure, not a conditional love that depends on performance, but a relentless covenant love that held me when I could not hold myself. Because of that love, I turned around. Because of that faithfulness, I laid down my weapons. Because of that mercy, I gave my life to Christ. Not as a perfect man, not as a healed man, but as a rescued one. Saved from the lie that rebellion is freedom, saved from the lie that my sin was stronger than your grace, saved from the lie that my madness, my addiction, my shame had the final word. They did not. You did. And your word over me is not addict, not unclean, not insane, not lost. It is beloved. I once ran from you with fists raised. Now I run toward you with open hands. You were faithful when I was defiant. You were near when I felt forsaken. You were constant when my mind fractured. I rebelled. You remained. I was drowning. You reached. I was lost. You found. And because you never abandoned me, I am yours. So, brothers and sisters, that is what I wrote today, this morning, about my testimony and how for many years, I was actively rebelling against God. I was trying to do everything possible to be abandoned. I thought I could do so many bad things and be evil and wicked and he would leave me alone. But the fact is, he never left me alone. You know, the more I pushed, the more I insulted, the more I cursed, the more I rebelled, the closer he got to me, and the more he showed me love, that being redeemed is possible, redemption is possible. It's just, I'm so thankful thankful for everything that my Heavenly Father does for me. I'm thankful for everything that Christ does for me on a daily basis. I don't deserve that grace, that mercy. I don't deserve that love, but He gives it to me anyways. But I hope and I pray that what I wrote is relatable, and I hope it helps at least one person feel less alone. That helps one person, it helps them realize that they're not too far gone, that you can still be saved. So I just want to say thank you, brothers and sisters, for spending some time with me, and I will talk to you later. I love you guys so much. I really do. I love you. So have a good day. God bless.